Friends, it is both my honor and privilege to welcome you to this international conference on Viksit Bharat. In the words of the Rig Veda, Mano Bhadra Kartavo Yantu Visvata. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. This conference is our attempt to reclaim, reinterpret, and reapply the timeless knowledge of Bharat to the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century. A civilization that gave the world the decimal system, Ayurveda, Shushruta's surgical instruments, Panini's grammar, Chanakya's statecraft, and yoga surely has much to offer to the modern world of innovation and entrepreneurship. So, Asian Business School, which is approved by AICTE and accredited with NBA, offers a globally recognized PGDM program which follows an industry centric holistic pedagogy to equip students with relevant and research based expertise. And in the long journey of 20 years, the college has been graced by the honorary presence of renowned personalities like the ex president Sri Ramnath Kovind, board co founder Mr. Aman Gupta, and Padma Shri Dr. Deepa Malik. And this international conference is being organized by the Research and Development Cell of ABS that has served as the beacon of innovation, driving forward the frontiers of knowledge and pushing the boundaries of what is possible. So, before we formally begin with the inauguration of the international conference, let us all take the blessings from Almighty. I may request the dignitaries to kindly join us for lighting of lamp. Thank you so much. From the Bhagavad Gita, we learn Yogaha Karmasu Kausalam. Excellence in action is yoga. What greater inspiration for entrepreneurs than this call to pursue innovation with skill and mindfulness? We also value our partners for this event, without whom the event would not have been such at a great level. We would like to thank our gold partners, Indian Oil, our silver partners, NTPC, and our platinum partners, Skill Probe, the EdTech company, which is into soft skills training as well as into internships for students. So, with these pious thoughts, let us welcome our guests for today. We are very honored to have with us distinguished personalities and guests whose vision resonates with our theme today. May I request all of you to join me in extending a warm round of applause as we welcome our guests. Our chief guest for today, Dr. Pankaj KP Shreyaskar, Deputy DG, Joint Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India. We welcome you, sir. We now welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Saurabh Dutt, Executive Director, Corporate Communications and Branding, Indian Oil Corporation Limited. We extend a warm welcome to you, sir. These are leaders shaping policies anchored in Bharatiya values. We also have the august presence of our director, sir, Dr. Lalitya V. Srivastav, Director, Asian Business School. We heartily welcome you, sir. And we are privileged to have with us Dean Academics and Examination, Asian Business School, Dr. Shweta Batra. We welcome you, ma'am. And last but not the least, the brainchild of today's conference, the Research and Development Cell Head, Dr. Sharmishta Sarma. We welcome you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Let us have a brief introductions for the guests today. We have the presence of Dr. Pankaj KP Shreyaskar, Deputy DG, Joint Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Sir is working as a Deputy Director General, Administrative Statistics and Policy Division in the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, Government of India, and has been instrumental in harnessing avenues for administrative data and triangulation of new data sources like GST and e-commerce. Sir has been instrumental in highlighting potential strategies for statistical activities. We welcome you, sir. Our next guest, Mr. Saurabh Dutt, is the Executive Director at Indian Oil Corporation Limited. With his magnanimous role at the highly recognized PSU, Sir has led various initiatives and projects for the organization's internal and external image and narrative, serving as a bridge between the PSU, its stakeholders, media, and the public. And Sir has been instrumental in developing and executing communication strategies, managing the brand perception, and overseeing the public and media relation. We welcome you again, sir. Thank you so much. Our third guest, Dr. Rajesh Pankaj, who unfortunately could not join us today in physical presence. I would like to read about him as well because he'll be joining us through a video. Sir is an MBA with 3.5 decades of experience and worked in diverse areas like operations, supply chain, HR, alternate energy, communication, and branding. He has been a key member of the team which launched biofuels and alternate energy, and Sir was the CEO of the joint venture between Indian Oil and Creda Biofuels Limited, closely involved with an industry academia interactions. So we will be having a video from Sir later. So now I would like to begin and commence this conference with a welcome address from our Dean, Dr. Shweta Batra. Thank you, ma'am.
So, welcome to a very energetic and happy morning. It gives me immense pleasure on behalf of Asian Business School to welcome you all to our international conference on Viksit Bharat, harnessing Indian knowledge systems for innovation and entrepreneurship. I am deeply, deeply honored to have with us Dr. Pankaj KP Shreyaskar sir, DDG, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Mr. Saurabh Dutt sir, Executive Director, Corporate Communication and Branding, Indian Oil, Dr. Rajesh Pankaj sir, Director and Head Education and Skills, Federation of Indian Chambers and Commerce and Industry. He has shared his video because unfortunately he couldn't come today because of some official engagements. Dr. Lalitya V. Srivastava sir, Director, Asian Education Group, Dr. Sharmishta Sharma ma'am, Head Research and Development Cell of Asian Business School, all the guests who have joined us today from the industry, all the paper presenters, academicians, my fellow colleagues, faculty members, and dearest students. We are very privileged to have you all with us today in this gathering where we will be sharing a lot of knowledge, lot of insights and informations regarding Viksit Bharat. Viksit Bharat 2047 is a vision of our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, who wants our nation to be a developed nation by 2047, which is the 100th year of our independence. So, when we talk about this Viksit Bharat, we understand that our culture, our traditions have certain norms, certain policies, certain systems which can be used and combined together with the modern systems, modern technologies, and can come up with new creative, innovative ideas and can help India to step into a developed nation by taking smaller steps, right? So, this kind of a conference which we are organizing today is one step ahead, which talks about that how these young minds who are sitting there in this auditorium can use our own Indian cultures, can use our traditions and transform them into modern era, modern technologies, and can start their own ventures, can come up with new innovative ideas, can make various policies, and help India take that step towards achieving that particular vision. So, when we talk about this achieving this vision, our mission should be to become self reliant, globally competitive, and deeply rooted in the civilization of ethos. So, at the very heart of this vision is Indian knowledge systems, which is a treasure of century old wisdom combined together with the modern technologies and leading towards sustainable living, holistic development, and innovativeness across generations. When we talk about or we see Chanakya's Arthashastra, which offers timeless insights into governance and economics, to Ayurveda, yoga, which talks about our health and well being, to various indigenous models of craftsmanship, agriculture, and education. Since this Indian knowledge system have always encouraged creativity, resilience, and problem solving. So today, when we combine this deep reservoir of knowledge with the power of modern technology, entrepreneurship, and global collaboration, we create a powerful pathway for innovation that is not only relevant in India but also impactful for the world. So, this conference, therefore, is not an academic exercise, it is a call to action, a call to rediscover, reinterpret, and reapply our traditional wisdom into contemporary contexts, whether in management practices, sustainable business models, grassroots innovations, or global entrepreneurship ecosystems. So, over the course of this event, we will hear from the eminent guests, leaders, from the panel discussion. In the panel discussions, there will be academicians, there will be a lot of policymakers, entrepreneurs who will be sharing their insights. And this platform, I hope, will serve as a catalyst towards bringing a change which we all look forward, where we look that our nation, India, should be a developed nation at the earliest. So I take this opportunity to extend my deepest gratitude to our esteemed keynote speakers today, panelists who will be joining us tomorrow, guests, all the guests from the industries and experts from various fields, so that because they are coming here and sharing their insights and dialogues with us. I also acknowledge the efforts of the organizing team for this particular event, and nonetheless, very much deeply gratitude to our student volunteers who have also helped us in making this event and this particular day possible. So, as we begin, let us remember that building Viksit Bharat is not the responsibility of one individual or an institution. It is a combined and collective efforts. And conferences like this will serve as a catalyst that bring us together to help exchange ideas and encourage us to act with purpose. So, with these words, I once again extend a very warm welcome to each one of you. I wish the conference meaningful deliberations and impactful outcomes, which will inspire us all to contribute towards shaping a stronger, innovative, and entrepreneurial India. Thank you, and I wish you all an enriching conference ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for setting the stage for this so much relevant conference theme. Now I would like to call upon Director Sir Dr. Lalitya V. Shrivastava, Director Asian Business School, to give the inaugural address and enlighten us with his thoughts. Please, sir.
Good morning, everybody. And it's a proud privilege to be the part of this international conference. And on the onset of this, I would like to, extend a very warm welcome and a heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Pankaj Shreskar and Mr. Saurabh for, joining us for this inaugural session of the international conference, which has been aligned with the thought process of the nation and our honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi. And then, of course, my colleagues on the dais, Dr. Shweta Batra and Dr. Sarmishta Sharma, the researchers, rather the intellectual capital who have shared their knowledge on the topic and then have contributed in terms of the papers for this conference, is a huge welcome and a round of applause for them, because without them it would not have been a successful conference. Because going through the papers, going through the presentations, it was indeed a feeling that if we collaborate together and work on some theme, we can actually make a difference in the future of the nation. So, aligning with the thought process, Viksit Bharat, it is, you know, a history probably to be repeated, right? Long years back, you go back to the Indian history, India was called Sone ki Chidiya, right? Where the things were well governed, where the systems were well in place, the knowledge system was huge, be it any field of the life that you take, right? Be it health, be it prosperity, entrepreneurship, or whatever, right? We are able to correlate to those words now when it is coming after the loss that we have seen by the people who have pulled us down over a period of time. And then we have started reviving our own selves, right? So every situation, the only point that was helping us out was the Indian knowledge system that we had, the legacy that we had, the intellect that we had right from that time, and then trying to revive, work on the same, and develop new systems and the policies to sustain, then grow, and then become the independent India, rather self-reliant India, and a developed country. So what is important and very essential part of this conference is that how do we do it, right? There had been challenges, there had been lot of good things that has happened in past, say globalization, westernization, and a lot of things. Every aspect of it had a positive and a negative aspect of it. But then how have we taken it, how have we aligned with the same, how have we tried to make it beneficial for India, right? And work on the economy, work on the growth, sustainability, and other things, and then try to build up a nation, and then reach to a situation where with the thought process, we are able to generate, we are able to create an image, we are able to build a brand, Bharat or India, and then having our global presence in the entire world today, right? The kind of political leadership, the kind of the thought process and the initiatives taken, we at least today have got our presence in the entire world. And majority, if you are aware, if you are listening to the news nowadays, lot of controversies amongst the various countries in India, in the world, but India is standing alone and very strong. So that is the thought process and the vision, that until unless we all align ourselves to this, it would be impossible, right? So 2047, right, another 22 years to go, And with the visionaries who are sitting here and many more, if you interact with them, I have an interaction of say half an hour time with both of them before coming to the hall. They have a lot of wonderful things, ideas, generation, innovation, and then trying to contribute every possible way to the people who are the stakeholders who can take it ahead, right? Believe me, out of the discussion, it is sounding a very important role of the education institution where the young mind of the country are being taken care of, right? And believe us, the future of the country are all of you sitting, the students here. So you need to actually align with the thought process, listen to what is being asked for. And before, as I said in the earlier session of mine, this is about knowing my own self first, right? Making myself responsible, then aligning the thought process of the society and the nation, and then evaluate my potential. What can I do, right? So the skill development, self reliance, self knowledge about my own self, and see becoming that I first become independent about myself, and then help the country, society, and the nation gradually to build a world which is the leader of the world as India, right? So that is how the when it comes to the education institution like Asian Business School, we focus on the skill development which is mandatory, right? Whatever knowledge that you have, if you don't know how to apply it, probably you'll not be able to work on this. Whatever knowledge that we give you about the entrepreneurship, right? But if you don't develop a business plan for yourself, try to see the practical implications and then make it workable, and then probably someday you contribute, you start contributing in terms of employment and the revenues, economy, and other things. And each one of us, if can do so, probably the vision can be achieved, right? The only thing is alignment of the modern knowledge that has been provided to you in terms of your pgdm program, the various courses which are being run, how to align it with the value system that we have, right? The majority of the times the problem is the values which are ideally diminishing, right? But then if we inculcate in our education, if we inculcate in every lecture that yes, the values need to be very strong with each one of us sitting here, and then realizing a contributor in terms of the values, in terms of the humanity, in terms of the knowledge, and then probably we start contributing in terms of the vision of Viksit Bharat, right? So a lot of new things, right? A lot of new initiatives that have been taken, right? Yoga, right? We were never aware, but then somebody Baba Ramdev had taken that initiative, some years back, and then we are aware about, we need to be conscious about our health. And then once we are healthy, once we are knowledgeable, a lot of people have taken the initiative in Ayurveda, right? That is the medication, the medical fitness that we look at. So a lot of things, which are there already persisting. We need to actually review the same with the modern approach and the thought process, and then try to develop a new mindset that can actually take India ahead, right? So with those many words, probably this conference has been designed where a lot of new insight, not only from the people at the strategic level, but from the people who are the contributor as the educators would come, and then that would be compiled together in the various publications, and then can be circulated to the nation, to the society, and then each one of us aligning with the same can actually make a difference in what is the vision of India for 2047. With those words, thank you so much. I welcome you once again to this conference, and then looking forward that it is a successful conference and we get the modern knowledge system aligning with the traditional knowledge system, Indian knowledge system. Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for these encouraging and motivating words. We all know that India, that is Bharat, is the ancient civilization, and all other countries are the modern civilizations. So, India has the power and the capability to give a lot to the world. So, thank you, Lalita sir, for these wonderful words. And now, may I call upon our guest of honor for today, Mr. Saurabh Dutt, Executive Director, Corporate Communication and Branding, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, to kindly give a theme address on this occasion. We welcome you, sir.
Dignitaries on dais, warm greetings to the faculty members and the students of Asian Business School present here. And I think it would be a privilege for me to address a young audience. We don't get much opportunities like this. So you will bear with me and an old man speaking to a young audience, but I'll try and match up to your aspirations and expectations. Uh, as it has been introduced, I work for a public sector and I work for the largest Indian company in terms of the energy sector, that is Indian Oil. I'm just giving a very brief introduction as to our scale. We operate from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, extreme corner of Gujarat to northeast. We are spread all over. We have about 43,000 plus petrol pumps, as you call it. We have 20,000 plus kilometers of pipeline. We have 12,000 plus LPG distributors. We serve 15.5 crore customers in LPG, which means about, if you take an average family size of 460 crore individuals are touched by us, only LPG. We serve 3.2 crore customers visit our petrol pumps daily. We fuel 3 flights every 2 minutes. So that is the scale that we operate at. The country's fuel demand is about 240 million tons per annum. We take care of about 50%. We have 9 refineries of Indian Oil, and we have 1 refinery which is our group company, that is Chennai Petroleum at Tamil Nadu. This in a nutshell, we have about 30,000 workforce who are direct employees, and we have about 6 lakh people who are involved with us in terms of stakeholders, contractors, truck drivers, and so on and so forth. So that is the scale. I just wanted to put it in perspective. Now coming down to the aligning, as it is being the topic for the conference today, conferences, and I think our Indian knowledge base, our systems, and how we take it forward today, how we integrate that. While India has a lot to offer, but what we'll need to keep in mind is that we'll need to synchronize, harmonize that with the requirements of today. That will be important. Uh, we have been we have given zero to the world. We calculated distance between Earth and Sun centuries ago. We've got the Aryabhatta, and we've got so much in our history. But it will be important to note that the modern growth somehow was not led by us, which happened somewhere away from us. The nations which were nowhere when we were at the pinnacle of this world, they took over, and today, sadly but truly, we look up to them for so much. I speak this because I've come from industry where, for getting clean energy and clean technologies, we need to look abroad, and many times those are not shared with us due to various reasons. So that is the challenge, and it is a big challenge, but I'm sure we are up to it. And our honorable PM has been exhorting the youngsters all across the country to come up, you know things like our own Google, our own WhatsApp, our own search engines. Now let us see. In fact, if you recall, some time back, Sam Altman had challenged Indians to come up with something like ChatGPT, which, if I'm not wrong, Mr. Anand Mahindra had accepted. Let us see where we go, how far do we go on that. But there are challenges that we face, and I'm sure our history and our text and our scriptures will have much to offer to us. Now, coming down to the present, it is important for you as youngsters to understand the corporate landscape of today's India, how we operate, and what is it the requirement that will be required from you once you leave the 4 walls of this college. the Philip Kotlers of the world, the Michael Porters of the world, all very fine. But please remember, this is a different country, this is a different society, and this is a different ball game. The marketing principles of the West don't work here. I can speak from personal experience of 35 years. I've been in sales, I've been in supply chain, I've been in alternate energy, I've been in even been in HR. So the requirements and the needs of this country are entirely different. So you should, number one, be ready for the universal truth today. That is, what is the universal? Disruptive change, not only change, disruptive change. COVID-19 is a prime example. Which is the next virus waiting to hit us? We don't know. Bill Gates says 2040 you will be hit by another big virus. I don't know. It could be 2030, 2035. We don't know. Each day the virus is mutating. So that brings, what kind of dynamics into this world, what kind of challenges for the corporate leaders. I give you an example. During COVID, Indian Oil, we had to shut down our refineries to the extent of 40%. We were operating at only 60%. All the ships at the ports had stopped. Railway movement had stopped. We, with great challenge, we managed the fuel supplies, that is LPG and petrol. I used to be working for petrochemical logistics. That time, petrochemical, by the way, is the raw material for all the personal protective equipment that you see in hospitals. So that's a critical industry. Packaging for milk, packaging for bread, packaging for wheat, packaging for rice, packaging for vegetables. Raw material is petrochemicals. So primarily you have polymers and a host of other products. So the challenge was to keep this nation moving. We, in fact, many of you would not know, we switched from making industrial grade oxygen to medical grade oxygen. Government had directed us to switch our refineries. We are making medical grade oxygen. We imported isotainers for this country. So COVID, the disruptions like this will bring things which you have never imagined. We worked for the first time in my life. I was in supply chain petrochemical. We had to stay at home for 20 days, 21 days. Only telephone and WhatsApp and communicating to that. We had 400 trucks on the roads with our product. Drivers had run away. So please be ready for all this, because as the future unfolds, we don't know. The other thing which is happening a lot in this world, it says a lot of disturbance in the world. You have a lot of these wars. You have Russia, Ukraine, which is not coming to an end. You have Israel, Hamas. You have disturbance in Yemen. You have disturbance in our neighborhood. We never know how things will change, what shape it will take in the next fortnight. We don't know. Then, in addition to this, you have this, if I may use the word here, kind of an economic, the economic terrorism, if I may call it, the tariff war. You have 50% tariff from here, 100% from there. You don't know. So what happens is that it will make a lot of your exports very expensive, uncompetitive. It can make our imports, our oil sector is one which we import, by the way, from 40 countries, not 140 geographies, because each refinery is built in a manner. You require oil of different kind. You require low sulfur, high sulfur, sweet crude, sour crude, and that's the whole host. Anyway, but right now we continue to import a large amount of our oil from Russia, which of course is quite a lot, not to do with anything else but commercial considerations, because you get a discount on that crude and it is nearer to you. If I have to import from US, the logistics go up, the cost goes up. So it is purely an economics game. Right now what we are doing is trying to save money. That was the primary reason Government of India had a few years back started the ethanol program, which has been historically existing in this country for decades. We are making sugar from ethanol, primarily sugarcane industry. So we switched to getting it into fuel because it helped to stabilize the income for the farmer and break the sugar cycle. If you have been students, if you have read about this a little, sugar industry is normally like this. You have a peak here, then it falls, then you have. So to break this cycle and bring a degree of stability, reduce. So we started with 5%, 2%, 10%. Now today we are close to 20%. The challenge for us is to substitute a fuel which is the crude. By the way, we import 85% of our crude. When I started my career, we used to import 70% of our crude. Today we import 85% of our crude, simply because our own internal resources are going down and our requirements are going up. I hope you all will appreciate nothing will work without energy. So that is a prime mover for an economy and an industry. So you need power, you need electricity, we need fuels to move, trains, aeroplanes, all of it. Your air conditioner, today this electricity is energy, some form of energy. Coal to power or liquid fuel to kinetic energy, cars moving. So this, I gave you this example just to give you an overall idea what is it that is required in a nation of our size? What is it that is required to keep this nation moving? So please be ready. You will get various roles. Some of you might join PSUs, some of you might not join. You might join private companies, doesn't matter. But largely the rules of the game will remain same. So the disruptive change is the only constant which you will have to see now, maybe for the next 2, 3, 4 decades. I don't know for how long. Now, in addition to this, please remember, wherever you go, whatever you do, communication and effective communication will remain a strong tool for you to, or a big support for you. Please inculcate the habit of listening more, speaking less, but whatever you speak should be effective. And a lot of people should pay attention to what you say. So though what I'm doing now is the opposite. I'm delivering a lecture to you, but please whenever you're in a corporate world, please listen more. And more so as you go up the organization, please be a good listener. You'll get to learn a lot. Speaking normally will, spoil the whole fun, and you will not be able to be an effective leader in those circumstances. Uh, I would like to also say that as you go along the organization, please remember, along with communication, please be a team player. Do not think you are individually brilliant. Nothing will be achieved. A scientist could possibly do something on his own in a laboratory and research and come out with something brilliant. But please remember, in large organizations, in large setup, in a school like this, even in, I'm sure, Government of India and ministries, you have to be a team player. आप अकेले से I will not work there. You must adopt we. That is a big problem. People individually brilliant might be very good students, but they are big failures in organizations. I've seen examples, and we have examples of many bright minds from IIM Ahmedabad and IITs leaving within 2 months of joining the organization because they can't work in a team. Individual brilliance has to be set aside for the larger team goals. Please remember this. Sustainability and green. This has been the mool mantra for Indians. We are by the way, we are one of the best sustainable countries in the world. The old traditional kabadi system of this country, as we call it, is one of the finest examples of sustainable working. If you have seen how they segregate from a tube light choke which you sell them, how they segregate copper, iron, steel, everything they will segregate. How the boys whom you see sifting through the lot of garbage, how they pick up these bottles and they are recycled. Now we have been but somehow sadly down the line, some things got, we deviated, and we had those thin, what is called, government has banned use of single-use plastic. So now you have those thicker microns. We say 125 plus microns. So this economy, please remember, this has been said to us from ages that what we take from Earth, we must give back. I think we are already using 2 times the Earth, close to 2 times the Earth that is permitted, the population that it is supporting. So these are important. Each organization, I'm sure, to some extent, is today seriously looking at the kind of rains we have seen in the North India this year, and the kind of areas which experience no rainfall get a lot of rainfall and floods, areas which had no. So all this is happening primarily because we have left the sustainable practices. Tree covers are gone. We have started mishandling environment. We have started disrespecting nature. So this is a big learning which has to carry from my past to my future and today. We better start working on this. In addition to this, what will happen is the whole world will get towards, the AI mode at various levels, various forms. It will get into AI. So please be prepared. Keep yourself updated. Keep learning. Even after you leave college, please remain a student for life. Unless you do that, I will assure you, at this age I still learn new things, and there's always a lot to learn. There's so much happening around us which you don't know. So please follow one mantra all your life, and your life will be very easy. That is, please be a student always. It helps a lot, because AI is something which will happen at a pace which we cannot imagine. Each year Apple is launching a new iPhone model, and the last one is withdrawn from the market, getting outdated. So you can well imagine the pace at which the world is moving. Similarly will the concepts as we get into organizations. You will have, a lot of things moving away from humans. A lot of humans will go down, machines will take over. All that will happen. There will be industries where humans will be required. There will be industries where we may not require so much. You will have to find alternate ways of making yourself useful. That will only be possible if you keep yourself updated, upskilled, get to know what is happening today. What is it that will happen tomorrow? Because students, when we passed out, things were entirely different. Today it's a different world. So you will have to, that is very important. With these words, I wish you all the best. Have a great 2-day conference, and I wish you all the best in your the students who are going to pass out next year. Wishing you all the best for your corporate careers. We hope you do well, and I'm sure some of you will make a name, and some famous startups will have some new Zomatos and Olas and Oyos and all that in our midst. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us a reality check and at the same time inspiring us, giving us life mantras for students as well as entrepreneurs to know where they have to go and how they have to go. Thank you so much, sir. Uh, Further, we would like to have a keynote address from Dr. Rajesh Pankaj, Director and Head, Education and Skills, FICCI, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Sir could not be present in person due to some last minute official responsibility. So we would be hearing a video address from Dr. Rajesh Pankaj.
Namaskar. Good morning, everyone. At the outset, let me extend my apologies to Asian Business School for not making it in person for this very important conclave that is being organized on the theme Indian Knowledge System for Promoting Innovation and Entrepreneurship for a Viksit Bharat. I manage FICCI Education and Skills portfolio for last several years. And FICCI, as all of you would know, that is the largest and oldest industry association body in India, established way back in 1927. Last 98 years, FICCI has been working around various socioeconomic sectors towards policy reforms, bringing in requisite change in the sector. And education skill development has been one of the important spaces that FICCI has been aggressively working on. Within education, we've been looking at very critical areas of financing, research, internationalization, technology integration, and multiple other reforms that is required of for 21st century education. In fact, FICCI played a pivotal role in giving insights and inputs to all the three task forces, working groups that government had constituted for the making of the new National Education Policy 2020. We had in person appeared to the third committee that government had constituted under the chairmanship of Dr. Kasturi Rangan, and we had given a lot of insights to the committee, and many of what FICCI had been recommending finds a mention in the new education policy. And therefore, FICCI and FICCI-like organization become very important in the area of policy reform and advocacy. And therefore, we also feel very accountable, responsible to promote all the quality-related issues that is required to promote education in the best possible form nationally and globally. Indian knowledge system, as NEP has very categorically and clearly highlighted, is an integral part or should be an integral part of the knowledge discourse in this era. And from that lens, FICCI has been consciously in a very concerted manner working around it and engaging and interfacing industry for the same. We all understand the critical importance of Indian knowledge system, and India conventionally, classically, has been so good at, so strong at. Not just the soft diplomacy and soft power that India would be able to exercise by practicing and promoting, encouraging, propagating IKS in real letter and spirit, but also the fact that with this rapidly evolving technology, there's so much that one could do to it in order to productize, monetize the old, rich knowledge tradition that we have, be it healthcare through Ayush, be it education through multiple, vernacular and other languages that government is trying to do in order to, put this whole IKS ecosystem to a different plane, or be it the newer and conventional and yet stronger and important ways of sustainable agricultural practices, or urban planning, architecture. The list goes on. And therefore, with all these opportunities that we all find as stakeholders that exist in the IKS ecosystem, therefore it's very, very imperative and important for all of us as stakeholders to start working towards it. And therefore, this conclave that Asian Business School is organizing is of supreme significance. I am a medical anthropologist by training. I had the opportunity of working with one of the primitive tribal communities called Birhor, who once upon a time were nomadic in nature. Of course, with time they have sedentarized, and the traditional occupation that they have no more exists or has largely diminished. But one of the things that I found in my knowledge, in my thesis and the PhD report that I produced, was that they were so rich in the medical and healing ecosystem that they had. The Bihors at one point in time were the best healers in whole of South Asia. Now, in my PhD thesis, I managed to document some 104 dosage patterns for diseases that they used to cure during yesteryears. But for lack of documentation, for lack of an ecosystem that would be able to digitize and document, such rich oral tradition does not get effectively and efficiently, optimally harnessed. And therefore, it's very, very important for all of us to start documenting, start digitizing this knowledge system so that we're able to really carry this rich knowledge in a documented form, in an effective form, so that it brings in right kind of value to the society and ecosystem at large. There are a couple of points that I want to highlight, which is very important in today's time to promote Indian knowledge system in true spirit. Of course, NEP has very clearly, categorically highlighted to promote it in school and higher education institutions. And of course, institutions are kind of looking towards it. But the kind of scale and size that we have in India, we have more than 1,250 universities, more than 53,000 colleges. And I don't think the percentage of institutions that are actually practicing it with all earnestness is high. You have research, you have technology integration, and many other things that are getting adopted fairly fast as opposed to this not happening. And therefore, we all have to kind of start working towards it to be able to at least get a substantial segment of universities start curating programs, co-curating program, and therefore, and this whole practice of interfacing, engaging, integrating IKS in curriculum would go up the ladder. The second thing which we should look at is collaboration with international partners. In fact, FICCI, as a practice, does a lot of outbound delegations to various countries in order to forge partnerships. We have exposure to Indian higher education systems in terms of what are the reforms that's happening in those countries and which are the areas that one could collaborate. There's one strong area that one could think of to create joint centers of excellence because India is extremely good at it, and there are many universities outside India that are looking at such collaborations. In fact, the Study in India program that was launched in 2018, FICCI had played a big role in ensuring that we're able to give right kind of inputs. And with time, with the passage of time, we've been kind of submitting our recommendations and suggestions to government. And one of the recommendations certainly is that we should work around our strength areas. And of course, indigenous knowledge system, Indian knowledge system that we all popularly call that, is something that we should certainly look at. And that's something that would attract students to large extent because given the scale and magnitude and speed with which this is getting spread across nations, I'm sure there are many takers across that who would want to look at it. So apart from having a safer city, making the visa norms easier, having classically built ecosystem that attracts students to kind of come and study in India, having education attaches in various high commission embassies, we've also been very strongly recommending to have such courses which India is very good at that would attract students from overseas. The other recommendation that I would want to highlight by virtue of being with FICCI is that we have to engage industry big time. We have been in our own limited way trying to push it, but this is an ecosystem that needs to be built across that how do we engage industry to promote Indian knowledge system within institutions. We also have to then try and see to create an enabling ecosystem so that more and more startups come in this space. So that is something which, of course, would require some kind of policy enablement, which I'm sure the establishment, both at the federal level and provincial level, would work around it, is working around it, and I'm sure in due course of time, this is only going to get better. And of course, FICCI stands committed as the largest, oldest, and one of the strongest industry association body in our country to work hand in hand with stakeholders, we as industry institutions, to promote the cause of Indian knowledge system and take it to higher pedestal. With these words, I'd like to again thank Asian Business School for having invited me and wishing you all the best for this amazing, well built up, well thought out, well curated conclave around Indian knowledge system. And I'm sure going forward, there will be a lot of insights that will come up, which FICCI would want to take it up and we will discuss within committee and take it to its logical end. Thank you so much.
We really thank Sir for his encouragement and recommendations. Though it would have been a great pleasure for us to host us at the Institute, but Sir had some last minute official engagements. With the spirit of seeking knowledge that has been the foundation of Indian civilization, it gives me immense pleasure to announce the launch of our Atal Faculty Development Program on the theme Academic and Industry Synergies in Green Energy for Sustainable Innovation. This FDP is going to be held in October and for which we have been provided grant by AICTE. May I request all the dignitaries to please launch the official poster of the same. Please join me in thanking the dignitaries in launching the poster of this FDP. Let's have a huge round of applause. Let us again join hands together for this commendable program. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. We do look forward to your participation in that, as the role of green energy has been crucial for a healthy and sustainable environment in today's time. As we move forward, I would like to now invite on dais Dr. Pankaj KP Shreyskar, Deputy Director General and Joint Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, for the chief guest address. Sir, it would be an honor for all of us to hear your viewpoints and insights on the Indian knowledge system. Thank you.
Uh, Good morning. And first and foremost, I must thank the Asian Business School for inviting me for this occasion. Uh, it is very difficult to speak at the last, whether you are a chief guest or you are no guest. This is absolutely a critical area to speak on, and therefore, a small advice to the youngsters: don't become chief guests ever. That becomes very, very difficult. What should you speak? And now it is here that I would like to bring into a new paradigm of the Indian knowledge system, is to bring in inventiveness. If you look into, we have always been talking about Indian knowledge system, but what is the basic tenet of Indian knowledge system? Of course, there are certain elements into it, and then Madam has said very rightly that you know, uh, Ano Bhadrah Kritoyantu Vishwata, which has been depicted from Rig Veda, which says that let the noble thoughts come to us from every side. That's openness about the knowledge. But the idea is, what do you mean by Indian knowledge system? I mean, how do you do the tangible translation of the Indian knowledge system? And this is again my interpretation of what I understand as the Indian knowledge system could be. Uh, the very willingness to open your mind, let the new ideas, any kind of ideas come into being, synthesize it, then start realizing of the ideas that you receive from various corners, various sects of the society. How would you bring it to the fore, and how would you make use of those elements into your uh, requirement? As has been stated by all the previous speakers, that you cannot remain a prisoners of the past. I mean, you can definitely say that we were the golden birds and we were having a dearth of absolute, everything was there. But why do you still remain to be quoted on those parameters which were so ancient in times? How should you bring those legacy forward to generate new requirements of the society? And when you talk of society, now the society is more of a global in nature, and this society is no more in a very restrictive sense that you must understand. Now, education is a very, very integral element of any society building process. And therefore, I would wish that the youngsters must understand that getting good marks in academic institutions are must, but it is not sufficient. To be a good student or be a good professional, when you go out of the system and you start realizing that what did you study, is it really making great help to you when you start practicing those in your whatever area you choose to be in? The basic idea therefore remains, and as you know that the government is now started realizing that the examination system that we are in, is it the same way the learning outcomes are actually coming in? And there are two broad elements as a policy principles that the examination system you appear for. is something else. When you know that you have a broad structure of the syllabus, you do whatever you do, you cram, you do whatever, and then you start reproducing it in the examination and you get out with very good flying colors. But that's not sufficient. Then you have a different stream to start realizing what is the learning outcome. And I had very recently was in UNESCO conference, and then I said that why there is a need to have a annual examination system different from those which are the learning outcomes of the systems. So a very thin line appears, which was so vivid, and it was quite a broad line to say that what we study in examination and reproduce it in examination is not a guarantee of the learning outcome. The question is, why does it happen? And what are we doing about it? That is my first way of looking at Indian knowledge system. I just want to bring in certain very basics of the literature. I mean, Sanskrit literature is something which every now and then, whether you like it, you do not like it, everybody quotes from Sanskrit. Why? Have you ever seen that the logo, motto, specimen, everything comes out from Sanskrit? If you see into LIC, of course, I'm sure that youngsters would not have seen LIC, but their parents must have done it. And if you see, there is, yoga kshemam vaham miham, it says that. It means supplication and surrender. You surrender in me, I'll take care of you. That's the motto line of LIC. So the point therefore remains is that probably we do not do supplication and surrender, not only in the education system, but even at other places. So the way we present ourselves are not the actuals that we are from within. And these are, I'm not saying that it is only the responsibility of the educational institutions, it is the responsibility of us all. And whatever is happening now, it's a contribution of us all. Whether it is a limitation, whether it is a divergence, whether it is progression, I'm not sure. But these are the challenges that you must address as a part and parcel of Indian knowledge system. Then any big university you go, I'm talking of Indian universities, that motto is drawn from some of the Sanskrit literature. Do you ever think, why is it so much we are reliant on these literature? So surely you will say that who cares? Who cares what is the motto line? And does it really make much of the sense when you say that your Nishtha Dhriti Satyam Delhi University, and then any university, I just give you an example to explore, right? And you just see all these well-renowned central universities, state university will have something or the other drawn from Sanskrit literature. Easier said than done. What did we do about that Sanskrit thereafter? From my early childhood, I have heard that, Sanskrit is the best scientific language for doing coding. Did we do ever? I mean, we have only read it in the newspapers, etc. Then, with all due apologies, whatever I'm speaking today, I'm speaking in my individual personality. I mean, that also you have to be quite careful that I am representing what I speak here is indeed my personal, ideas. So the thing is that you need to create market, and that is what is called sustainability. When you talk of sustainability and green revolution, etc., these are from an energy perspective. When you talk of sustainability, the broader sense of sustainability is that whatever knowledge that we have gathered, how are we translating in the modern era with a real interpretation which is inescapable at the moment. I just again draw your kind attention to some of the literary work which people have done all along in ancient period. There has not been much of the addition. Whether you talk of Sanskrit literature, you talk of Hindi literature. Post 70s, there are hardly any contribution of that level, which people would have done way back. And let me bring it to for your kind consideration is that best interpretation of Kalidasa's work in Sanskrit, one of the greatest exponent of Sanskrit, was not done by any Indian. It was done by a person who is from Mauritius. It's called M.R. Kale and Keys. Then again, if you look into there is a book written by which is known as The Wonder That Was India, is written by somebody who is from Canberra University, Professor A.L. Basham. He has written all maybe around 300 pages book. And that is a book, if you read, you would realize, more you read the book, more you realize how less you know about India itself. The culture, you go in UP, within 50 kilometers, the kind of song which they sing during marriages, and if you go up towards Punjab, the kind of song that they sing, they have all been encapsulated in this book. Why could we not produce this? This, in true sense, is the enriching that knowledge. Look at from that perspective. Recently, there is a book written by a British couple, and they have written about Ramayana, a modern interpretation of Ramayana. When you say that the modern interpretation of Ramayana, what do you mean to exposition it there? Universities are producing ample of doctorate degrees. Again, in my all humble submission, and I'm also responsible for it if what is going on there, is that how many of them are actually worth making certain disturbances in the existing framework of the education? That is something which we must start asking ourselves. And in the education sector, I am of the firm opinion that Humphrey had once said, what is democracy? Democracy is on the hammering on the anvil, and he says that it has to be discussion, dissent, and debate. Question yourself. Do we give this environment either on the part of the table or on the part of the other side of the table when you remain a student? This environment need to be inculcated as much as you can. Think of an inventiveness in terms of, and that does not require a great kind of environment, and you need not be a great scientist. You always keep on thinking, does walking down the street disturbs you on certain things which is happening here and there? If that happens, I'm sure you are a conscious citizen and you would make certain contribution in the society in whatever manner you can, whether you are an artist, whether you are a theologist, whether you are a management guru, whether you are a artificial intelligence guy. Everywhere an inventiveness is required. Very recently, National Teachers Award was given, and I was present there when Honorable President of India was conferring the awards on the winners. And I realized the winners were coming from one of the rural villages school downtown. What they would have done, you tell me, which we could not do sitting in the AC rooms, etc., and with all kind of facilities that we have. Because, again, in my humble submission, we are lacking original thinking. The Indian knowledge system, to me, happens to be embracing new challenges, opening up your mind, right? And then think of new ideas. Then have that courage and conviction to practicing those new ideas. I just wanted to bring to your kind consideration, again, is one of the speakers had said that you must be afraid of the artificial intelligence because that's very fast is going to replace you. I would assure you, don't be afraid of artificial intelligence. They cannot replace you because they cannot commit errors. We are the one who will commit the error, always will commit the error, and therefore humans will never be replaced by the, artificial, they cannot replace ever. The original song cannot be created by the artificial intelligence. That emotion cannot be brought into by the artificial intelligence. They can remain, again, prisoners of the past, tripod of the legacy information. You know what? The artificial intelligence has a problem is that if your data is too weak and fragile, the output will also be remaining fragile. I'm not saying that artificial intelligence is not your challenge. Of course it is. But then, since we wish them not to replace us, we have to be more smarter in terms of triangulation of the knowledge, in terms of the data, in terms of the insights that you generate yourself. And if you do not feed that much data, it will not be able to give you, ample and specific results. Peer pressure has brought me to, purchase this cell phone. Peer pressure. And then while I walk down from Noida back to my office, then I start exploring. What? Hey Siri, do this. And let's see, he started doing it here as well. But the problem is, if I said that you do this, I don't know what to do about it. They have become really, we are already under 24/7 surveillance. So there is an infringement of privacy, right? Now I'm taking you to another areas, Indian knowledge system, when they say that privacy was always contained in. Again, I invite your attention. I'm a great votary of Sanskrit literature, so I'll again invite your kind attention to one of the verse in Bhagavad Gita, which says, and that's very, very common to what we talk about: accountability, transparency, etc. in the knowledge system. And you know what it says? That's mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and this is what I'm saying, that you need to translate those into the modern era. And you know what it says? It says that the truth about the action must be known, truth about the inaction must be known, and truth about the mysterious action must be known, because mysterious are the ways of the action. Now this explains the accountability in administration in as much as in Bhagavad Gita. Now look at this. Have you ever tried and see what are the management principles imbibed into these literature? That's what is called Indian knowledge system, bringing it to fore, bringing it into the modern interpretation, bring the problems from the modern era, try resolve this on the knowledges of the Indian knowledge system, and then you say that I have confluenced both of them, given you answer from the Indian knowledge system, and then I'm telling you, you write one of the codes in Sanskrit and then say, look, Sanskrit is the best fit insofar as the computer is concerned. But that we are not doing. Easier said than done. National education policy has brought into the Indian knowledge system. Again, my personal opinion, sir, I have to be very clear on this part. What does this building block and structure says when I say that Indian knowledge system? What do I understand? What is it that you should do? Of course, we all heard Rig Veda, Athar Veda, and all kind of thing, Ashtadash Puran, etc. What next? Are we picking up problems from the modern era? Are we trying to resolve it through these literature? Are we enriching this literature? What is that Indian knowledge system? That is something which we must keep on thinking. And I would not take too much of time because of Hey Siri, always keep on reminding that. Hey Siri, you have to go back to office as well. Nevertheless, I would like to bring it to a close by mentioning that kindly enjoy your studentship. This is perhaps as important as your courtship, not the court which you understand in law, but otherwise. But please practice it fearlessly. Question it. You should be prepared to question yourself, to prepare the existing framework, question the existing framework. We were discussing about it, not that you should do with any preconceived notions, but you challenge the existing framework. Unless you challenge the existing framework, inventiveness is not going to come. Don't become a prisoner of the past. Go have the courage and conviction. Go out from the standard settled principles. Even though I did not do, my apologies for this. I would have loved to study Hindi literature, English literature, Sanskrit literature, not English literature as much, but I didn't do. You know why? I studied mathematics in Delhi University. I studied management in Delhi University. But I wish that I could have studied literature. I didn't do it because I realized that there are no market, right? Then what did I do? Did I create that market? That's my failure. That's my limitation. We have to raise the questions. Questions will always remain there. What contribution did you do? How much did you contribute? Even if it is from the Jugaad system. If you put it in a broad coverage of packaging in the management jargon, that itself becomes managerial problems. But the problems are existing. Think always, how can you give a simple solution to these problems? And if you can do this, I believe That is what is called Indian knowledge system, where we always were of the opinion that I don't need to borrow the solutions from outside. We will generate our own solutions, you know. And it is also again said that there is always a separation between an artist who creates and the man who suffers. Larger the difference, greater the artist is. You need not uh, uh, you know you need not go into the sorrow or the uh, restrictions of a person who is going through that sorrow. You can still realize, and if you can do that, you are a big artist. With this, I would like to bring it to a close with one shloka, again from borrowing from Sanskrit literature, which says that sangachadhvam samvadadhvam samvo manansi janatam. Let's come together, talk together, think together, however as much as differently, so that you bring to the fore new inventiveness. Thank you all so very much for this.
Thank you so much, sir, for such enthusiastic and enlightening knowledge from all the crux of the Indian knowledge system. We really relish that. Thank you so much. And I think that as much as we would need artificial intelligence, we would also require natural wisdom to carry on with our innovations. So, thank you so much, sir. Now, we would like to utilize this occasion for the launch of a specific literary work published by Bloomsbury Publishing on the theme of our conference, Viksit Bharat, Harnessing Indian Knowledge System for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Over its history, Bloomsbury has nurtured multiple literary prize winners, upholding a reputation for high standards in design, production, and a commitment to quality that extends from fiction to non fiction, academic, and children's literature. Against this legacy of fostering voices that shape societies, today's book launch is a testament to the shared values of excellence and cultural contribution for this conference. The book has the manuscripts of the research work submitted for the conference by distinguished academicians as well as students. So, with immense pride and in the presence of this distinguished gathering, I would like to invite the honored guests to please launch the book. Yes, we would like to invite Dr. Navita Gurbani as well, Associate Professor, Asian Business School, for launching this book. Ma'am is the editor. Dr. Shweta Batra is the editor of this book. Let's have a huge round of applause. Thank you, all the dignitaries, for launching this book on this special occasion on the international conference. This book will definitely be available with Bloomsbury, and you people are invited to go ahead and read this book as well. Now, we would like to felicitate our guests for today. We were very lucky to have such an engaging and innovative session with so many insights and so many value addition to the existing knowledge. Of course, the Indian knowledge system would be the basic platform where we are going to encourage and enrich ourselves. So, with due regard, now we'd like to felicitate our guests. We would like to begin with the chief guest, Dr. Pankaj KP Shreyskar, Joint Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. May I request Director Sir, Dr. Lalit Yavi Sir, to please felicitate Sir with a memento and an Uttarayan. It's a very Indian. Yes. Please give a huge round of applause. And we are really thankful to Shreyaskar sir for sharing his insights with us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It's a pleasure from our side, sir. Now we would like to felicitate Mr. Saurabh Dutt, Executive Director, Corporate Communication and Branding, Indian Oil Corporation Limited. May I request Director sir to please felicitate sir with a memento and an Uttarayan. We really thank you all the dignitaries for taking out time from their busy schedule. We also have a couple of guests present with us here today, the guests of honor. We would like to call them on stage and felicitate them as well. I would like to invite Mr. Karan Peer, Head of Human and Social Capital Resources, GIST Impact. Sir, may we have you on the stage? Sir is an alumni of TISS and working for Social Capital Resources at GIST Impact. Thank you so much for gracing your presence, sir. Thank you, Mr. Peer. Now I would like to call upon stage Professor Harpreet Bhatia, ma'am, from Delhi University. Ma'am, we would like to felicitate you and thank you for coming here from your busy schedule. It has been an honor to have you with us. Ma'am is the guest of honor. It's a pleasure to have you with us, ma'am. Thank you so much. And lastly, we would like to also felicitate Professor Urmila Bharti, HOD, Zakir Hussain, Delhi College Evening. Ma'am, we would like to invite you on stage for felicitation. It's a great honor to have you amongst us. Professor Urmila Bharti, let's have a huge round of applause. Let the enthusiasm be carried on. Thank you, ma'am. You're done, sir. Please take your seats, sirs and ma'ams. As we draw the curtain on this inspiring inaugural session, let us pause to reflect on the vision that has brought each of us together. Today, we have witnessed the confluence of ancient wisdom and modern aspirations, of dreams rooted in tradition and ambitions that soar toward innovation. Let us remember that the conversations that started here are only the beginning. May the unique blend of perspectives exchanged fuel new partnerships, research endeavors, and transformative actions, along with all the papers that we are going to listen to today. And as we move into the technical sessions ahead, a world of exploration awaits where faculty, innovators, and learners can join hands to shape a future inspired by the best of our civilizational knowledge. On the behalf of organization committee, now I would like to call upon Dr. Sarmishta Sharma, RDC Head, Asian Business School, to please give the vote of thanks, ma'am.
I would like to thank all the dignitaries and the students present here today who have made this event possible. Apart from the guests that we have, Dr. Pankaj Shreyeskar sir, thank you for finding out time to be with us and to give such an insightful lecture, which our students enjoyed thoroughly. I would like to thank Saurav Dutt sir for the industry insight and for being our sponsoring partner. I'd like to thank our guiding light, Dr. Lalitaveer Srivastav sir, Director, Asian Education Group, Dr. Saurabh Sharma sir, Director, Asian Education Group, Dr. Gurdeep Singh Raina sir, Director, Asian Education Group, our catalyst for everything that we do, Dr. Shweta Batra ma'am, the Dean Asian Business School, who's been with us all through in organizing and curating the event. Our team of RDC members, Dr. Navita Gurbani, Dr. Guneet Kaur, and Dr. Priyanka Arora, who have worked relentlessly to make this event possible. I'd like to also thank the IT team who has worked tirelessly to make this possible and to live stream it. Finally, I would like to thank the sponsoring partners, Indian Oil, Platinum sponsor, Skill Probe, Gold sponsor, and NTPC, our silver sponsor. Thank you very much. I hope we have wonderful 2 days of conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sarma. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend heartfelt gratitude to all the dignitaries, partners, and participants. Thank you for your inspiring presence, your commitment to learning, and your dedication to building bridges between the wisdom of the past and the promise of tomorrow. Thank you so much, sir. I would request the audience to be seated here. I would like to invite the guests, external guests, for networking and high tea outside the auditorium. Please, would you just carry on with the high tea and networking? And I would request the students to please be sitting right now. I would like to thank the audience for their patient listening. Thank you so much.